Thank you for signing up for this webinar on down payment assistance programs, what we're calling Unlock Your Future Home, where you're going to get to find out about My Way Home's down payment assistance programs and closing cost assistance programs. So today we have our Deputy Director, Alex Vega, here as the presenter. And what we're going to go over today is first, you're going to learn a little bit about My Way Home, what we do and who we are. We're going to learn about programs that offer assistance for moderate income families and low income families. We're going to also let you know what our pre-approval process looks like, and then what to do, what you can do, and how we can help if you're not quite ready yet, what services we can offer. And then we'll move on to our Q&A. You can use our chat to enter any questions, or you can use the Q&A box to enter any questions, and we'll go ahead and keep track of those, and we'll respond to those questions at the end. If for any reason we don't get to your question, we'll provide our contact information so that you can contact us after, and we will be happy to answer those questions. So today we do have Alex Vega, our Deputy Director, as our presenter. He has led the lending division since 2007 here at My Way Home. And he is an expert, I would say, and many of us would say, at layered financing. During his time here at My Way Home, he has secured more than 70 million in down payment assistance and 237 million in mortgage financing for low and moderate income families. So he has over 20 years experience on this. He is the person that you want to ask questions. You have a chance to really get to know what these assistances have to offer and how they can help you become a home buyer in one of the most expensive states in the country. So we're really glad to be able to offer this information to you, take advantage of all the information, the times that you have to ask questions, and we would be happy to help. So Alex, if you could take it away.
Thank you, Kaylee, very much. Round of applause for Kaylee. It's great to be with all of you. It really is in such a time, and to be able to talk about all of the different programs that in some ways, some people will say it's too good to be true. But as you can see, we've been around for a very long time. And this is predominantly what we do, is trying to advocate to receive and obtain down payment assistance programs and different layered financing, because we know that one of the biggest obstacles is being able to save enough money for down, especially as we see that many of you are paying probably high rental costs. How do you do both? So about My Way Home. We were originally incorporated back in 2001 by our co-founder that's still around, Berta Garcia, and our late founder as well, Rodney Fernandez. Alina Pacheco, welcome. She's our senior loan specialist here at the organization as well. So thank you, Alina. Been around for over 25 years. And what we do is from the very beginning is our mission is to create home ownership, creating wealth through home ownership and education. And we'll talk about our education and counseling component with the organization. Next slide. So before we begin, just the information that we're presenting here is accurate at the best of our knowledge. And when we say that, we know that it's accurate, but at any moment, interest rates will change. We're layering different programs, and programs will open up. Some may run out. So we are doing the best that we can with this information, with programs that we have for many years, but we still need to say this. Programs within the presentation are subject to change. They may discontinue without notice. But please consult our team with the most updated information. Other eligibility criteria is going to be required. As you know, we can't really talk about all of the guidelines that are involved in that, but we do a very full deep dive on everybody, and always looking at ways to be able to increase the purchasing power of individuals. Next slide. So when we talk about down payment assistance programs, some of the lingo that I'm going to be using throughout here is first-time home buyer, area median income, low moderate income, household size, forgivable and deferred, forgivable grants or deferred loans. Now, what's very important for our organization is that we are a first mortgage lender. We also lend, we do the first mortgages, we do the direct lending, but we also offer these different types of down payment components. So for us, what's really important is that we're looking at two different income calculations, the eligibility for the different down payment assistance programs, as well as the qualification for first mortgages simultaneously. Makes it a lot more difficult, but it is what we do and what we've done through all of these years since our existence. So what is a first-time home buyer? Someone that has obviously never owned a home before. Someone that has owned a home but has not owned a home in the last 3 years would be considered a first-time home buyer for many first-time buyer programs as well. Divorced, displaced spouse, you had a home and through a divorce you had to sell that home, or one of the spouses kept it, the other one did not. That would be considered a displaced spouse, as well as being potentially eligible again upon the sale and right after to be a first-time buyer. Now, when we look at area median income, we look at the area median income. A lot of the down payment assistance programs are geared towards certain income demographics. Are you a low-income borrower, a moderate-income borrower? We need all documentation as well as household size members to be able to accurately calculate that. And we do that across the board because we are going to go in assuming that folks are going to qualify for some type of down payment assistance or be eligible. So we are always going to analyze that. So we'll ask for all of the information to be able to do both the qualification and the eligibility. But these limits are published by the federal government. So HUD is Housing and Urban Development annually. I think the next round will be published most likely March, April, May. It's around the first quarter of the year. And so dependence, the size, that's going to matter. Low income is anyone that is under 80% of the area median income for the county. Now that doesn't make sense now, but we'll see those numbers as we move through the presentation. And moderate income earners are those that are at 120% or below. Now, some other programs that are considered moderate or higher income are up to 150% of the area median income and up to 140% of the area median income. And this is adjusted for household size. That's a big important part of what we do as well. You'll see it there. Forgivable grants versus deferred loans. Some forgivable grants, they're forgiven upon, after a certain amount of time, as long as you stay in that property, or they're forgiven immediately upon funding of your transaction, completely forgiven. Deferred loans, deferred over a certain period of time. They're not forgiven. They're lent out at a low interest rate, and then they need to pay back after a certain amount of time. And we'll get into more details of those. Next slide, please, Kaylee. So let's get into the different types of programs for moderate income. And what is it? Higher earners. Now, we understand, and we're advocating for this as an organization, that there needs to be more money made available for higher income individuals. And that's where these moderate programs are coming in. Why? It's everyone needs the assistance to get into home ownership. That down payment has been a big issue, and we're seeing that more and more. So we're going to discuss the Home Now program in Ventura County product, the CalHFA, California Housing Finance Agency program, statewide. No matter where you are in the state of California, this is eligible for that. We're going to talk about the Dream for All product that you guys want to be ready for. It opens up in February 24th, 26th, and it's open through March 16th, I believe. I'm going to ask my team to correct me if I'm wrong. For those of you, again, in Ventura County, the Harvest at Limonada, Santa Paula, there's down payment assistance specifically, geographically specific down payment assistance. And then the middle income program as well, the middle income grant product that is going to be across different counties that we are able to serve as well. So let's get into each of these. Next slide, please. As we look at the Home Now program, County of Ventura, this is one of our newest products that we've just launched. For those of you that are looking to buy in Ventura County, and in very specific geographic areas of Ventura County, which is the unincorporated area of the county, or in the cities of Fillmore, Santa Paula, Moore Park, Ojai, Port Hueneme, Thousand Oaks, and you are under 150% of the area median income, as you can see down in the graph below. These are 2025 numbers. What is your household size? Are you a household size of 4? Husband and wife, partners, 2 kiddos, household size of 4, and whatever combination that is. If you're earning $196,950 or less, and you're a first-time buyer, you may be eligible for this program. It could be used for closing costs and or down payment. So as you can see, this is not a forgivable loan, deferred over a 15-year period at a 2% simple interest rate. You want to live in the property. If at any point you sell it or move out, then that gets paid back at a 2% simple interest rate, accrual every year. So this is, again, the Home Now across Ventura County. And as I talk about this, I also want you guys, I already saw that in the chat in one of the questions, can these programs be layered? The answer to that is yes. In most situations, now different ones will be and others will not, but up to $37,500 for this product here, we know that as many as we can bring together for borrowers is what makes the difference. So yes, we are all for layering. We're always looking at the opportunities of layering, and we look at all of the different guidelines that need to be lined up perfectly. Now, this isn't just the first mortgage, right? We're not even talking about the first mortgage. We do that as well, but we are looking at 3, 4, 5 layers of financing at times, and they all have to make sense. And this is where we are very strong at being able to achieve this. Next slide, Kim. Now, the next product is the Cal HFA program. So with Cal HFA, for all of those that are watching, I don't have there's not a survey question here to find out where you're all listening from, what counties you're from. But the Cal HFA has been a product that we've been really successful at utilizing. I also saw the question, can some of these programs be layered with Cal HFA? The answer to that is yes, we've been doing that. We've been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years since Cal HFA has now become more prominent in their funding availability in the state of California. So with the first mortgage, there's also up to 3% for conventional financing that could be used for closing costs for down payment assistance, or 3.5% for the FHA program. There's also closing cost assistance with this product here. 30-year deferred programs. The 3% My Home is a down payment assistance at a 1% simple interest rate. Phenomenal interest rates to just be able to obtain these funds at a 1% interest rate. They're deferred for 30 years. And if you take a look at this for first-time buyers in Ventura County, $259,000 or less, you'd be eligible for down payment assistance. Kern County, $185,000, Santa Barbara, $235,000, and Los Angeles County, $211,000. That encompasses a big area, a big portion of the population that is earning that or less to be able to obtain down payment. So the myth that we need 20% to buy is a myth. That's exactly what it is. So there are down payment assistance programs. There are programs that allow you to get in with 3 or 3.5%. And there are products that give you that down payment. So in these situations, you cover the closing costs. If we're able to layer it with another program, that could be used to help cover the closing costs as well. Okay, next slide. Now, let's talk about this Dream for All that's been around. Now, this is going to be the 3rd year, or the 3rd time, not consecutively, that is going to be released. Now, we as an organization, and I personally have sat on the state of California's advisory committee on how this program should be rolled out. The very first year that it was rolled out, it was about $300 million. And that was across the state of California, that was exhausted in 11 days. It was gone. And there was no limit. There was no, so we had to come back and really tell the state, no, this needs to go out to those that need it the most and create some guidelines, some designations, some specifications about what that is, and the state listened. So moving forward, when this is open again on February 24th, you want to ask yourself, and this is going to be another one that's very specific, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. We can assist you in applying for it. It's up to 20% down payment of the sales price, or $150,000, whichever is less, in down payment for your purchase. You're also allowed to come in with your own funds, but maximum 5%. So you're not able to put another 100,000 to come in with 50. It's 5% is the maximum down payment that you're allowed to put in. Now, when you sell or refinance this home, you would pay back that equity, right? There's an equity share component. And we won't get into the specifics of what that is, but the rate of what that would be, it's only the appreciation of the home itself. And on the website, there is very clear examples of what that is. We have that as well, but we would be able to do this. The question for the basic eligibility is a little different. Not only do you have to be a first-time buyer, like all borrowers do, and whoever's going to be on the loan, but you also need to be a first-generation buyer, at least one of the borrowers, meaning that parents do not own a home at the time that you're applying. Now, this is a tough question because it's going to, some of these questions that we're asking is if your parents are living, and we hope that they are, that do they own a home? And we have a lot of borrowers that even parents have not owned a home. That's the first generation criteria. If at the time of their death, if they're no longer with us, did they own a home at that time? If they did, that could again take away that first generation. But this is a really important part of eligibility. So we look at this one. We could also approve folks for this. And then by the time they go through that lottery process, when you're selected, you have 90 days to act. So you have to be ready, but also getting you approved for anything else so that you're continuing to look, not putting all of your eggs in this basket. With this program, we have layered our Cal Home. We've layered other programs to be able to increase the down payment above and beyond the 20% or the 150,000, whichever is less. And there's no limit on that because that's not buyer's own funds. I mentioned how much a buyer can come in at 5%. Next slide. The income limits that you saw there, those are the ones specifically for the Dream for All program. So the next one that we talk about now is the Harvest at Limonada. Two products that we do not have in here, for those of you in Los Angeles, is the LIPA program, and it might be there, I don't remember it. The LIPA and the MIPA program, middle income assistance product, and the low income assistance product. There's also one within the city of Los Angeles that is some down payment assistance that's also available. So we may not include it in this slide, in this presentation, but please, from those of you from LA, look at MIPA, M-I-P-A, and LIPA, L-I-P-A, down payment assistance in Los Angeles County. And the city of Los Angeles has one as well. But for those of you that are thinking about the new development in Santa Paula as well, within the conjunction with the city of Santa Paula, there's a product that we have available up to $23,000, a deferred loan, not forgivable, but it's deferred at 0% interest over 30 years. So with inflation, when you look at the cost of inflation, you're actually making money on taking out a $23,000 deferred loan for down payment or closing costs or both. Now, you do want to show that you're at least a resident of Ventura County by being able to prove that you've been working for the last 6 months, that you either live or work. And if you don't live in Ventura County, that you're working in Ventura County at least 32 hours over the last 6 months. But again, you look at what your criteria is as a household size of 4, 196,950, or 6. That's why it's important when we look at household size, because this down payment assistance is adjusted for household size. So the more kiddos or the more household size, the more you can earn and still be considered eligible for this. That's an important part here. The Harvest at Limonada. Now, this isn't only for new development, but existing properties, resale, somebody bought there at the first phase, is looking at selling now, we can still assist in that purchase. Next slide. And so the other program that is about to launch anytime soon, and we've been able to take advantage of this program over the last few years. I think they've been released 2 or 3 years through the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco, is the middle income grant. So now we've been really surprised when this just came out. There was no real big notification, but funds will exhaust pretty quickly. So moving fast on something like this is important. This is at 140% of the area median income, as opposed to 150. But the Federal Home Loan Bank calculates the income a little different. So it could actually be a higher amount than the 50% that you've been seeing in the other slides. But it's up to $50,000 that we provide on the purchase. And as soon as you fund the transaction and at closing, you get your keys, that loan is immediately forgiven upon funding. Again, eligible for 80.01%. So low income is, if you're under 80%, you're not eligible for this, because we're going to talk about the Wish product that is in to serve low income households. This is the moderate income component. Now there are limits varied by county, because this is through member banks. We're an affiliate of a lot of member banks that get these funds out. So we know right now we can use Kern County, Santa Barbara County, Los Angeles County, and Ventura County. Home buyers must be able to contribute a minimum of $10,000 toward the down payment to be able to achieve this. It's a matching fund. And again, could be used for down payment or closing costs or both. Phenomenal opportunity to be able to obtain $50,000 raise immediately upon funding. So you want to be prepared for that. For many of you, depending on where you are in the process, are you looking, have you been approved? Are you looking to do this down the line? This is why that first slide, as we talked about products, we're going to talk about these. It's not ready now, but we're taking that, we're being proactive here in telling folks about it, so that when they are ready, they can move quickly. But again, these funds will exhaust pretty quickly. As an organization with the Federal Home Loan Bank, if you jump on the Federal Home Loan Bank's website, there is an article about a client that we've served. They've come out to Ventura County because, as an organization, we've been extremely successful at obtaining these funds and bringing them into the counties that we serve, with the Federal Home Loan Bank serving California, Nevada, and Arizona. But we've made a mark by bringing these funds in here, and we've been successful at it, and we'll continue to be successful at it. And they do see us as that poster child, so we're happy to be a part of all of that. Next slide, Kaylee. And I'm looking at time here. So now let's get into the low income, right? For those of you that are low income, and again, you may not know, so don't auto-eliminate yourself if you think, oh, I made that before, I'm making that, I don't make that much, or I'm exceeding that. We'll look at it because it's a future projection of income. But we're going to talk about the Cal Home, which is a funding source that we have with the state of California that we apply for. It's a very competitive funding source, and we at VCDC, My Way Home, have been successful at obtaining these funds. And we received another round of just under $2 million for additional down payment. WISH, which is the Federal Home Loan Bank for Low Income Workforce Housing Initiative product. The Hope to Home Oxnard, geographically, specifically for the city of Oxnard. And the Hope to Home Bakersfield, specifically, again, limited to homes within the city of Bakersfield city limits, just like in Oxnard. So let's get into them. The first one, let's get into the Cal Home program. So the Cal Home one is a 3-to-1 matching deferred loan. Again, for low-income families, up to $40,000 in down payment assistance to those that are 80% or below of the area median income in the county that you're residing. It's deferred for 30 years at a 3% simple interest rate. Could be used for down payment or closing costs or both. And up to 1% of buyer's own funds will be required for this. So the buyer would only need to come in with 1%. Give you an example. If you're buying a $500,000 home, and I know a lot of you may be saying, where can you find a $500,000 home nowadays? But as an example, if you come in with 1%, 5,000, which that could be for closing costs for the down, you've met that threshold of 1% buyer's own funds. Now, that's not necessarily saying that 1% would only be needed. Our goal is to see that if someone can come in with at least the closing costs, so that we can put as much money into down payment as possible, because we know that the more down payment that can be put into these transactions is what allows us to reach that entry level home in the areas that you're looking for. Next slide. The WISH is the other program through the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco. We talked about the middle income that they launch. This is the WISH product that is up to $32,000. And I don't know if this year they're going to increase that $32,000 to a higher amount. That part I don't recall. But this is, again, a forgivable grant. With every dollar that an eligible buyer comes into the transaction, it's matched by $4. It can be used for down payment, for closing costs, or both. It builds wealth. Every year you stay in that home, 20% of the amount is forgiven. Until after the 5th year that you've been there, the entire amount is now forgiven and it stays as equity in your home. This is one of those forgivable grants. Unlike the middle income that is forgiven immediately upon funding, this one is forgiven over time. And it encourages folks to stay there as well and build wealth that way. That is the wish grant. Next slide. The Hope to Home Oxnard is also an important one. This family here, mom and son, is one of those families that was featured with the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco in a website that came out some years back. And that is one of the pictures that was taken from that gathering. She was a board member of ours as well, provided so much important guidance, and we're so happy to be able to put them in home ownerships and everybody that we have, and then to see her pay it back. Up to $40,000. Up to $40,000. Now, this one is a little bit different. You have to be a City of Oxnard resident at the time that you're applying within the City of Oxnard and purchase a home that's within the City of Oxnard city limits. Forgivable grant as well. Instead of 5 years, it's over 10 years. So it is not unlikely that a low-income family that we can layer the Cal Home, the Forgivable Wish, and the Hope to Home Oxnard can all be layered together. That's $40,000, $40,000, and $32,000. Of that total amount, the $32,000 is forgiven in 5 years, and this $40,000 is forgiven in 10. You divide that over that period of time. I mean, that's an actual raise every year in your income because it's staying as equity in your home. Again, so for low-income families within the City of Oxnard, another very important program. Next slide is, or the next program is the Hope to Home. For those of you that are listening to us from Bakersfield, the Cal Home we can use in all four counties: LA, Santa Barbara, Ventura, and Kern County. The Wish product we can use in all four counties. So we could layer these. Very common in Bakersfield with the Hope to Home City of Bakersfield. The QR code there will also print up, I think, the map, the city limits, which are important because there's some cities, there's some county areas within the city limits. So we want to be careful. Up to $40,000 for low income, deferred over 30 years. I think the simple interest is 2% as well, and can be layered with the other pros that we have. We've also layered the City of Oxnard, I'm sorry, the City of Bakersfield program, our Cal Home program, and the $32,000 forgivable Wish grant in Bakersfield, and provided over $100,000 in down payment assistance. This is real. This happens, and just if someone's eligible and finds everything the way it needs to be, it is a very real possibility to have. Now, Wish has run out, but they're going to release the new Wish funding on April 1st. So the 2026, 2027 monies will be opened up every year again around April 1st. So by the time we're looking at March here now, and we're preparing for home ownership, these funds should be rolled out again. And I'm knocking on wood for that. Next slide. Here are the city limits when we look at the different county limits for low income. For the Wish grant, the Cal Home deferred loan, the City of Oxnard, the City of Bakersfield. Well, not the City of Bakersfield. We're going to look at that, but this is 80%, meaning that's the low income. That's what we're looking at now. If you think about your household size, there's a household size of 5. If you're earning $138,950 or less per year, gross income projected forward, you would be considered low income, because that number is exactly 80% of the area median income as published by both the federal government and the state. Next slide for the next county. And we want to look at the county that you're listening to us from. Here is Kern County. That 5 household size, 81,150 for both the Wish, the Cal Home, and the City of Bakersfield program. This is where we're at. So when you layer all of these, and here's Los Angeles, when you layer all of these, if you're today, your purchasing power is able to obtain a $285,000 purchase. With this layered financing and no payments, we're able to increase your purchasing power by the amount almost of the down payment assistance that we're providing. So when you're when you're qualifying for a $280,000 home, that may now be a $370,000 home. That purchasing power really matters, and your payment is the same because we're still looking at the payment aspect of it. For those of you in Los Angeles County, household size of 5, 130,850 or less is 80% or below. That's low income. And that's a pretty significant amount when we look at this to be considered what we look at what a low income family is. This is workforce housing, right? This is what that is. And then the last county that we see here is going to be I believe Santa Barbara. Yeah, Santa Barbara County, household size of 5, 152,500 is considered low income on a household size of 5. And again, that combination, it's everybody. Now, when we look at income, another important part, because I'm at the 633 mark, is the any adults in the household, that income would also include as part of the household income. So that's something we'll get into detail with every family. It's a very specific situation for everyone. Next one. Let's get an example. This is a real example. Now, I know that 500,000 may not be something realistic in the areas that you're looking at, but I want to use this because this is something that we've used. Well, the person on the right, we had a borrower. This is the Franco family that came in and was approved with a FHA loan, 3.5% down, mortgage insurance, no down payment. They had to come in with 3.5 of their own funds, $17,500 a month, or down payment plus closing costs, another 15 or so. So we're looking at just shy of 30,000 total cash to close. That was tough. They didn't have the monies to do this. We'll come back to that. Didn't have the funds to do that. They were referred to us. We've changed them from an FHA loan to a conventional. We were able to provide at the time $85,000 in down payment assistance. Their down payment was zero. Our down payment resolved all of that. They just came in with the closing costs, which was about $13,000, $14,000. I'm going to round up, if I recall. When you look at the payment difference, even though the amount of money that we were able to put down for a $500,000 wasn't quite 20% down. So there was still a small mortgage insurance, but that was going to fall off within a matter of 4 or 5 years. But it's there. When you look at the payment difference for the same exact home at $500,000, a $4,081 a month payment compared to a $3,443 payment. The savings per month was $638. Over that same time period, if we look at the 5-year period, because they were able to apply for 2 programs, which was our Wish and the County Ventura program that was also forgiven after 5 years, not only did they have the savings per month, but they had $38,283. That was all savings forgiven. The $638 over a 60-month period, they also had 32, or that the 38,000. That was the saving over a 5-year period in the monthly payment. But they also had the forgivable grant from both the federal government and the county. And that gave them about $80,000, over $80,000 in total forgivable monies that they were able to earn in just 5 years. That was happening. We were doing that, and we can continue to do that even though programs come and go. Some of them are not forgiven and some of them are. So every situation will be very unique. Next slide. Just to look at the team here, this is what you would do. And I want to kind of get into the pre-approval process is this. If someone is interested, what we really want folks to do is that QR code, because what we do is we schedule a 30-minute, a quick up to 30-minute consultation to figure out where someone is at and identify next steps. Is somebody ready today to be able to move forward, or do we need to work on something? And we're going to look at those options. After you submit that, we contact you. We schedule that consultation. If the consultation, we decide we're moving forward, it looks realistic, you guys are able to move forward, there's not any issues before you go on through this whole process, we would take the next step to request documents and move forward with the full application to get a full approval on both the actual documents that we require to be able to determine the eligibility, the calculations for eligibility, and calculations for qualification. After that, within that day or the next day or two, we can issue out a pre-approval letter. That pre-approval letter is now because we have an automated approval so that you can move forward and begin to shop. Begin to shop at a very specific sales price. You will know at that point how much money you're looking to come in with, if that's possible, and looking where you're at and what that payment would be. It's that simple to be able to just kind of move forward and see where your pre-approval is. If you're not ready, we want to be, so please scan the QR code or take a picture of that so that you can scan it later. Okay. Next slide. If you are not ready and we think that, but you want to do that, we are a HUD certified counseling agency. We have HUD certified counselors. HUD stands for Housing and Urban Development. Here's the team. Let's work at this. The first step might be I need more savings. I need to fix my credit or correct certain things on my credit report. Wanted to know where I'm at. I don't know if I want to do this now, but I want to begin to look at my situation so I could be ready in 6 months, 9 months, or 1 year. We have a fully capable team to be able to do that, and it's a free service. The only thing you're paying for is the credit report, and there are times where there's also a credit report waiver on this. I may be speaking out of turn. I don't think this is the time for the waiver. I'm not sure, but watch for that. But please, if you don't know where you're at, this is something that is underutilized, and it should be the first step for anybody and everybody that's really looking at home ownership. That's our HUD certified counseling team. Okay. So thank you so much. I know I'm rushing through this because we had 30 minutes and I knew I was going to go over. But here's our information for the organization. Again, you can scan that QR code there, join the email list about any potential new down payment assistance programs, and just know about all these products, but know that these do exist. This is something that we've done. This is all that we've done in most cases. And so they're out there, they're real. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
I know that was a lot of information and there's a lot of good questions that came up. So we're going to get started with those. I know that we're over the 6:30 mark. You're welcome to stay with us. If you have to go, we totally understand. I put the link for the application in the chat. You can always visit our website at mywayhome.org and you can click on the Apply Now button from there. You can always call us at 805-273-7800. Would be happy to answer your questions or walk you through how to submit that application. So let's get started with those questions. So first question, this is very specific, but perhaps you want to say what is the roundabout closing costs? It says, what is the closing cost for a $980,000 home?
It's a percentage of the sales price. So for sure, I think, we've just had this conversation as an organization. We're trying to just break even. So if you look at what a typical, maybe 1%, 1.5%, so 900, if depends how much you put down, because in lending, it's also based off the loan amount and not off the sales price. So I'm going to assume that the loan amount is 980,000, 1.5%. That would be 14,700 just on origination, plus title, escrow, appraisal, all of the other fees. But again, that's an amount. If you'll also notice two very things that happen in the lending world. If they're saying that there's no origination, no cost, then you're definitely paying on the interest rate. It's one or the other. No one is doing this stuff for free. We are getting funding to be able to do this as a nonprofit, but we also need to also break even to be able to stay around and to do this and to continue to bring these services. But it's definitely not these high amounts. But if it's not in the cost on the front, it's going to be on the interest rate. So what we do is we look at, is it make more sense to get a better interest rate for the debt to income ratios to work, or to be able to use it on front because there's savings that's there. If there's no savings and we're really tight, then we need to be able to do a little bit of both. But we have the flexibility to do that. More importantly, we have certain down payment assistance to help cover a lot of those things.
Thanks, Alex. Is the Cal Home program available in all of California?
The Cal Home program is available in all of California for those that have been able to be lucky enough to obtain the funding. For our Cal Home, it's very specific to the 4 counties that we're in: Los Angeles, Ventura County, Santa Barbara County, and Kern County. We can utilize our Cal Home in those 4 counties.
If they are outside of that county, they would contact their local entity for that, Alex, to find out, or?
I'm not sure of any entities right now that would have that. You can let us know where you are, and we can let you know. So the other ones, like the Wish, these are member banks that are serving their service areas. So we can most definitely help. The Cal HAFA, the Cal HFA is statewide. We're able to do loans. I also hold a real estate broker's license, so we can do loans across the entire state. But yes, depending on where you're buying, there may be an organization that also offers these types of down payment assistance, and sister organizations like ours. and put you in touch with someone like that.
Wonderful. Next question. So for this question, wife is a teacher in carpinteria and they want to buy a house in Ventura. Is there any programs for teachers? Or is there teacher programs that can
Yeah.
that could be
So
later?
the state of California used to that Cal HFA used to call the teacher down payment assistance program for teachers and faculty. That's changed. But all of the programs, it comes down to the eligibility of where you would be. So there isn't one that I know that's specific. I know there was one, and I'd have to get back to you on this, but there was one where it was teachers, first responders, firefighters, and so on. I know that if you're in Santa Barbara Carpinteria, one of the things that we did not talk about, another great organization that we can layer is the Housing Trust of Santa Barbara, the trust fund. Housing Trust of Santa Barbara County has some down payment assistance. Jennifer McGovern was a CEO that's just retired. There was a new CEO there, but there's also down payment assistance specifically through the county or the city, Carpinteria, southwest of Santa Barbara County. So we've used those and we've layered those programs as well. But that's another way to look at that. I just can't think of one that's specific for teachers right now. I apologize.
For the California Dream for All, my mother bought a home but under a different last name. Would this affect us for the qualification?
If your mother bought a home under the different last name, I think it would still make her your mom or mother. So here's what's happened. The down payment assistance program with the layered fund, with the Dream for All, they are investigating, they are searching, they are really doing the due diligence to find out who mom is. It's going to be up to you the way you answer that question, who your mother is on the last name or so. But I think they still do investigatory stuff there. So I don't know how to answer that, but I think it would still potentially pop up.
Does the city of Camarillo still have funding for their first-time homebuyer program?
They don't. The city of Camarillo, and I just had a conversation with the folks at the city of Camarillo last week, and they have run out of funding. That was the $50,000 workforce initiative program, and they have run out of funding.
And I'm assuming this question is just in general, why are the rates very high?
This is yeah. I mean, I've Alina and myself, we've been in the business for a long time, and my major, I went international business, knowing the world impact of what happens. We're a global economy, we're a global society, so it's really hard to keep a pulse on that market now. There's been a lot of macroeconomic shifts, micro shifts as well. So we're going to do our best. But what I will say, when you are ready to lock your interest rate, unless you're a gambling person, we would always recommend trying to lock in the rate that you're at. And we'll do the best to look at the market conditions and reports to see if something's going to be better out there. Something very clearly would indicate that your rate. But yeah, it's really hard to say. There's too much stuff that are out of the ordinary that are happening right now on a global level. That affect mortgage-backed securities. That's what this is based on. Long-term mortgage-backed securities.
As a current homeowner, is there any down payment assistance in Southern California? Was looking into Orange County, but open to anything south or adjacent to the coast from Kern County. So pretty much, is there any assistance for current homeowners?
There isn't too much. I won't say that there isn't. There are programs that if you're planning to sell the home that you're in to move to another area, that you may be able to take advantage of that because you're not able to own a home at the time that you're going to purchase. So if you're going to sell that home and then buy it, there might be more opportunities there. But a lot of this product and programs are to create homeowners, to bring those that haven't had the opportunity of homeownership into homeownership. But those that are moving, very valid reasons, work or being closer to family, there's trying to project that. What I will say as well, for those of you, because you mentioned Orange County, we're working with about 10 different cities, not 6 different cities, but 10 different projects in Orange County on affordable homes that are being built in Santa Ana, Anaheim, La Mesa. So more to come on that. If those of you that are listening to us from Orange County or other developments is that are going to be sold specifically for low income, very low income, even very low income and moderate income opportunities. So when you have opportunities like that to get into home ownership for those homes that are directly priced to that income demographic, then there's a phenomenal opportunity there. There's going to most likely be lotteries. Go ahead, Kim.
How long are pre-approval letters valid for?
It's usually 3 months because it's how long the credit report would be good for. But as long as there's no major changes, we don't need to necessarily pull a credit every 3 months. Just as long as there's no major changes on income, savings, debt, and we can move forward, then those pre-approvals are reanalyzed, re-provided. But again, knowing that we are basing it off of that. And then when you are about to make an offer, we would at that point collect additional information from income to bank statements. So keep on saving those types of documents. Every pay stub that you receive, bank statements that you're receiving, you're about to file taxes now. So when you file your taxes and your W-2s, providing those as well.
What is the max income for the middle income and low income? So I just wanted to go to that page,
Sure.
Alex, where we show the CalHFA income because that is the highest, right?
That is the highest. Yeah, the CalHFA, which is this one right here, in the county that you're from. So this would provide down payment. So if you say, oh, no, I make too much. If you're making over that amount, then there might be less opportunities for you now. But if you're within there or below, then there's some type of assistance out there for you.
I also posted a link in the chat box that just in case you are outside of these counties that we list here, you can look for your county there and it'll tell you the different income limits. For CalHFA they do have their own income limits that you can find on their website. And in addition to that, California Dream for All has separate
Perfect.
income limits, and I also placed that link in the chat.
Yep.
Do you know of any organizations that are based out of Houston, Texas? I would say
You
not
know,
not at the top
yeah,
of our head, but
no,
we can definitely
we
perhaps research
we
them.
we do know for sure that there's organizations in Houston, San Antonio, they're there. What I don't know if that they focus, there are very few organizations like us, like CDFIs that do residential lending directly. That's the difference.
Any programs for Ventura County employees or the County of Ventura employees?
We did one many years ago, the employee assisted housing program with the city of Ventura specifically. We're able to help some firefighters, and this is an idea to try to keep employees from Ventura County in the city to stay local and not have to commute. But I don't know of any currently, or there has been discussion as to try to roll another one out. We know for those of you in Santa Barbara that work in Cottage Hospital, the Cottage Hospital themselves have some great down payment assistance to try to keep employees, nurses, custodians, whatever that is, in the area. So we know that the unaffordability that we're facing today, a lot of employers are really concerned about that. So they're rolling these things out to keep folks and their employment, their working power local.
I want to make sure I get this question in, Alex, because it's really important and it's
Yeah.
something that we've done in the past. And I'm really happy to see that there's a few people asking this question. So people want to know, can they use their Section 8 voucher to purchase?
That is a phenomenal question. We've been looking to move that envelope. It depends on what county or what city is providing you the Section 8 and their ability to be able to move forward with creating a product that would be able to use the Section 8 for mortgage products as well. So the way I would answer that, it's going to depend on the Section 8 provider and what their appetite is to do that. We've done them before; they've existed, but far less likely that I know of. I don't know of anyone that's actually doing it now.
So their best bet would be to talk to their case manager to see if their
Right.
particular agency is offering.
Correct.
Okay.
Or if they're looking at moving in that direction in the future.
Mhm. Um, can we be awarded more than one grant?
Yes, that's the layering. That is the layering. It has to work out. We have to look at what lien position because they all stand in line. And so that is the magic of it all, right? Where are you buying? Where are you at? Where do you live? That's why we need all of this documentation so that we can cross every T and dot every I and look at how we can layer as much as possible.
Is there a minimum credit score for the California Dream for All?
There is a minimum credit score for the California Dream for All. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I believe it is 640 for low income potentially, and then 660 or 680 for moderate.
And we do have several questions about if there's programs specific to students, nurses.
Yeah,
So I would say that right now, as you explained earlier, Alex, that there are no programs specific to
yeah,
certain professions. But if there were, and if we do come up with
yeah,
something or manage something,
yeah,
I would say to stay tuned to our social media, our email list.
yeah.
Any new programs that we have, you're first to find out on our social media and our email list. So that's always the best way to find out about our new programming that we have.
Yeah, and if you do find something like the one that we were looking at Cottage Hospital to become approved with them with this new program that they released, if there is something out there that, they'll mention the teachers or police officers, first responders. So the good thing about ours is everybody, right? We're including everyone in there, so apply that way. But if there is something else and we can bring it into that, we're happy to do the research and to roll up our sleeves and try to get these programs included as well.
There is a question about affordable homes in Santa Barbara as well.
Mhm.
And again, we don't have anything right now, but if we were to have something, the email list, the social media, that is the best way to find out about
Yeah,
any affordable property projects that we manage. We do have a couple right now, right, Alex?
yeah.
Just not in that area.
Right. So I think what I would recommend everybody, wherever you're living, is to contact your local city with a community development. Get on a list. They all have affordable units. There's some affordable units that have already been sold years, but when they need to sell them again, those original buyers, they need to find another eligible family. So get on a list, get on a waiting list, get involved with Habitat for Humanity. We've helped, and we're currently in a program with Habitat for Humanity in Santa Barbara County, Southern Santa Barbara County, Habitat for Humanity in Ventura County. Actively right now with both of those on some projects. Habitat for Humanity of Ventura County will be developing an Ojai. So, a wait list, a lottery that'll be done, but you've got to be ready for those and you got to be informed. And there's a lot. So stay connected with your city, with the new city council, and the different organizations like the Habitat for Humanities in the areas that you're in as well.
Is there a minimum credit score for the programs?
Most programs, like the down payment assistance, are not FICO score driven. If we can get you approved for a first mortgage and you're eligible for the programs, then we're fine. So they're not FICO score driven. They're eligibility and qualified driven.
If for the California Dream for All, if you refinance later on that program and the home is worth less than the purchase price, are you still responsible for paying back 100% of the loan?
No, that's a great question. There is a graph there. If you jumped on the website, there is a 1 hour training on the way that works. So I don't have that information. I know it, but I don't have it to be able to speak clearly about it. But we will. We'll be doing a presentation as well, or you can look at the presentation that's available through Cal HFA on that Dream for All. But there is a very specific calculation on those different scenarios.
Because I have been in my rental home the past 13 years. I don't have down payment, and the home will be sold for 800,000. Can I use the grant funds for this home?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I'm looking at.
Sure. So she's been in the rental home that the owner is selling, and she's wondering if she can use these grant funds for the home.
Absolutely. One of there was a year, maybe 2 years ago, where a lot of the things that we were able to help, a lot of the buyers that we were able to help were those that actually were living in their home that the landlords were selling. So it gave them the opportunity. Landlords weren't paying real estate agents, or they would work together with the real estate agent that the landlord was using. So that was a great way where they're not putting it out in the entire market. So that is, yes, you are able to buy it. And then we would just need to make sure that with the down payment assistance, your income could sustain that payment at that price. So the answer to that is obviously yes.
Last question that someone asked was if we help with credit building, and we do. We do. Alex explained this towards the end, and we do. I just wanted to reiterate that we do have free coaching for home buyer service where our HUD approved or our HUD certified counselors will sit with you, review your credit, review your budget, let you know what you need to do, what steps you need to take. They'll prepare a customized action plan and let you know what steps you need to take in order to become mortgage ready. So that is a free service that we offer in English, Spanish. We have in-person appointments over the phone, online. So please do take advantage of that. If you don't feel that you're ready, or maybe you don't know whether you're ready or not, that's a great first step to take to find out if you're ready and to work with someone that will hold your hand throughout the process.
Yes.
Okay,
So looking
so
at the
we got to move
time,
on to our next our next presentation at 7. Thank you so much to everyone for joining.
thank you,
We will
everyone.
be we will be handing out the or emailing the recording to everybody who signed up. If you do have any questions, please make sure that you give us a call at 805-273-7800, or you can visit our website at mywayhome.org, and we would be happy to help. We hope that we can get so many of you here on the presentation into your own home. And please do look for us as a resource. Tell your friends, tell your family about what you found out about today. And we would be happy to help you into your own home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.